Hi, I'm Janis from JBMTHINKS, and I'd like to talk to you today about having hard conversations. Yesterday, two of my kids came over for dinner, and before we ate dinner, they actually went outside and walked a ways down to the dock where we have behind our home and sat down and talked. Now, as they were going out the door, they looked at me and they said, "We need to go have a hard conversation." So they went out there and sat down, and I looked out every now and then, just wondering what they were talking about. Um, and they came in like 20 minutes later, and I didn't ask, although I wanted to know, but I didn't ask about their conversation, and acted like nothing was wrong, and they went on with the evening. But as I sat there and watched them sitting out there talking, I thought, that's really pretty cool that they're in their 20s and they're out there talking and having a hard conversation about whatever that they needed to discuss. And I thought, this is how people need to approach the conflicts in their lives. I mean, how many families do you know? And I know some of these families where when there's an issue, it's either swept under the rug or ignored, but it is an elephant in the room. And so it's never really dealt with. The conversations are not had. The hard conversations are just not had because they're hard and they're not fun. But how can we teach our kids as they're young to start moving towards that skill of having hard conversations? And I believe that youth sports is one great avenue to teach your kids how to have hard conversations. The first one is going to be talking to the coach about playing time or position. Those are two issues that your child needs to confront the coach about himself. Now, when your child is really small, it might be a good idea for you both to go together so your child can kind of see how it goes down. But as your child gets older, middle school, high school, let him or her learn to have those hard conversations without you, the ones about playing time and position. Let her go to the coach and talk about it and not you. That's one way your child can learn to have hard conversations. Another way is when dealing with friends or teammates that are either doing something or they're not getting along or something, and letting your child go and have those conversations, encouraging that. I remember so many times when my daughter came home and she would talk about difficulties with friends or teammates, and I would look at her and I'd say, this sounds like you need to have a conversation with so-and-so. As much as I wanted to, jump in and take care of it, I knew she had to handle it. And so I would encourage her to have those hard conversations and to confront the person and talk to the person. And the third way I think that our kids can learn to build the skill of having hard conversations is when you as a parent exemplify that. When you model that before them. As parents, it is so easy for us to ignore the hard conversations. We want to discipline our kids, get it over with, and move on. We want to sweep things under the rug. We want to forget about things. But there are some things that should not be forgotten. We need to talk about and address issues and have hard conversations with our kids. And that's the work of parenting. It's easier just to discipline and move on. And in some cases, that may be the best thing. In other cases, I do believe that hard conversations need to happen. So these are three ways that your child can learn to have hard conversations so that when they do get to be in their 20s or 30s and 40s, they know how to talk. Because when you have the ability to have hard conversations, then you can have healthier relationships. You can have a family that there's no elephant in the room. There's no things swept under the rug, but there's healthy relationships, healthy communication. And in order to have those healthy relationships and those healthy communications, you have to be able to have hard conversations. So these are just some things to think about, some ways that you can help your child learn to have those hard conversations. And don't be the family that ignores the elephant in the room and sweeps everything under the rug, because you're just cheating yourself of the healthy family relationships. This is a skill that your child will be so grateful that they have as they get older. And so I just encourage you to work on that area of having hard conversations in your family. Have a great week.